So for those of you, we can look at the screen sharing if you'd like. For the prayers, we do also have them on our website. And we're going to start with the long mandala offering. Kyamdang Dorje Chang Chimpo Dang Oyen Machimba 영성 템메나도 동기는 신의 못해 제손 라말라 상도 망라주장 젠방겸제로 성견분 텐신 림보체벨 상보시앙안에 Deng Jemma Sung Chua Zama Leng Ma Zhu Yun Du Jing Gam Mo Wa Zhu Om Men Sa Bo Mi A Hong Wang Sun Se Ge Sa Ji Om Men Sa Re Ke A Hum Jin Cha Gui Ko Yu Ge Ko E O Su Ring Ya Bo Di Dam Sha Le Ma Bo Lo Sam Bo Ling Nu Ba Lang Zhe Jan Jia Min Yan Lu Da Lu Bang Na Yam Nan Na Yam Zan Yon Dan Dam Nam Zhe Zhe Jamin Yan Dan Jamin Yan Gi Da Rinpoche Ri Wo Vang Sam Gi Shing De Zhe Ba Ma Ma Mai Lo Tok Gala Rinpoche Nobo Rinpoche Soma Rinpoche Lompa Rinpoche Langpa Rinpoche Dajo Rinpoche Mangpa Rinpoche Chimba Bamba Gek Ma Dreng La Ma Lu Ma Ga Ma Meda Ma Numa Ma Nang Sa Ma Drin Ma Nim Ma Da Wa Rinpoche Duk Chula Namba Gyawa Gyalsen Husula Dang Mi Belcher Ponsum Sokpa Ma Sang Wa Me Ba Sang Jing Yidu Wang Wa Dinda Jin Shen Sawa Dang Gap Chepe Belden Lama Dampa Namdan Keba Duyang Yonzo Tembeng Nada Dongi Ledu Shenne Mote Jetsun Lama Lozang Dubang Doche Chang Chamber Capture Lozang Gendun Zenzin Rinpoche Belzang Bocheng Ane Demba Chamber Sungsha Zamo Legma Shue Yondu Shinkamo Agiwa Tunje Drawe Donzu Sesu So Jene Kyanzo So Drawa Magyu Namke Tada Nempe Semchen Tamchela Suksewa Chamber Gone Jingi Labdo So Sajin Bongi Zhuanxin Ne Tuang Zheng Ram Ling Xin Lin De Yan Ban Ding Zhang Ge Jing Nu Ming De Wai Zhong Gong Nan Dang Jing Lang Chom Ba Shom Jet Son Lama Nam Bang Ye Nam King Chong Gu La Ken Se Chon Sin Jin Jinda Sambe Donje Zin Malang Yam Chogin Chama Ham Don So Nidam Gururana Mandala Kandiryatayami 저당석이 정남라 정처바도 닥닝얌수지 닥이 존연기 배소남 긴조라 번처 성계주 파쇼 성계 저당석이 정남라 정처바도 닥닝얌수지 닥이 존연기 배소남 긴조라 번처 성계주 파쇼 상계 저당석이 정남라 장추바드 닥니 겹수지 닥이 전행기 배소남기 졸라 벤치 상계 주파쇼 Heart Sutra. Heart Sutra. You have it, Sunny?
It's before the yeah.
I prostrate to the Arya triple gem. Thus did I hear at one time the Bhagawan was dwelling on Mass of Vultures Mountain in Rajagriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagawan was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound perception. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya, Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound perfection of wisdom and beheld those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya, Avalokiteshvara. How should any son of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya, Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are emptiness, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element, and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, on up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the endpoint of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly, completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared. Tayata gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisvaha. Shariputra, the bodhisattva, mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagavan arose from that concentration and commended the bodhisattva, mahasattva, Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that. It is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Bhagavan, having thus spoken, the Venerable Shatadvatiputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Arya Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Bhagavan.
Ramjam Suram Gula Davimi, Gasanta Vandrivi Jungoju, Zavi Jungi, Tabki Zabaye, Sense Shingi Namla Guija, Tsel, Punzo Gele Chivi, Jumbigo, Tayo Druga Java Kungazo, Mali Sheja Shishin Subedu, Shagi, Zu, Tela, Guija, Tsel. Gewa Gundu Yanda Lamadan Jemi Shigi Bela Nonji Sadaman, Dorji Changi, Kogan, YouTube, Show. Okay. So, first of all, my homage to Benobo Rubina. The homage is taking care. We had so well take cared, and I ate lots of good food, delicious tea, and of course, all of you. Thank you. It's, I think some of I remember, some of I haven't seen before, but welcome, and your requests me to speak about the Mahamudra, and I'm not any authority in this topic. It's just kind of randomly end up in talking about this, and I don't know why I'm talking about this, and it's quite random. So please don't think that I'm kind of like a specialist in this topic, and fundamentally, my well, now when I was young, I'm not that interesting in this topic because my teacher forced me to do it. But now I'm kind of interesting. Basically, somehow, finally, the mind is everything. The mind is everything. But mind is so spoiled. So Mahamudra is how to train the spoiled mind, I think. If it's so spoiled, then when you go too much, analyzing, conceptualizing, it backfires. So Mahamudra, meditation in nature of mind, is basically developing our own, through difficulty, learning how to dealing with the mind, which is a very, very smart and very, very reactive and so basically it's a well-trained, it reads you very carefully, it's no way to poke you. So therefore, and because of that kind of things, we get distracted. So here, basically Mahamudra in the beginning level, we're just trying to understand and get aware and develop very skillful method how to work with our mind, this reactive mind, a very distracted mind. So really being patient, learning lots of patience in our own meditation, in our own practice, learning lots of patience, and then through patience and really finding the right kind of intuition, how to work with our own mind, okay? And then through that, in a really grounding into the seeing the conventional nature of mind, we ground it well, and then through that self-confidence, then gradually working with the ultimate nature of mind, which is basically you can really get good healing to mind to overcome, something that's so. So that's kind of like the Mahamudra, and kind of like a very universal way. And the mind, at the beginning, becomes a little bit more like this reactive mind, this kind of childish mind. You're learning how to kind of developing our own strength, how to working with this very much influenced by karmic habit, very much influenced by karmic habit. So you are working with that. It's basically called conventional nature of mind. Basically, what you are doing is a Shinne meditation related with the mind. Okay, and then once you get that kind of like a kind of checklist done, hopefully, and then you're working ultimate nature of mind that have a much more trying to understanding really true nature, the reality, because there's so much deceptions, comes much more in a very subtle way, because not knowing the reality creates kind of like a big kind of like obstacle. So ultimate nature of mind, meditation, ultimate nature of mind. And then that's through that milestone, then we are gaining like another getting into the, how you say, next level of our own civilization. Next level of, right now is a very, so anyway, basically, you are getting something that access to our own mind, which is have infinite potential, infinite. So the concept of enlightenment, concept of this kind of like Buddhahood, enlightenment. So this is coming more possibility through realizing ultimate nature of mind. So that's makes to the next level. That's then once you realize ultimate nature of mind, then through that here, then it opens up whole different project. And of course, that entire we tend to do the advice guideline is based on not for kind of like a just for self-improvement or self-liberation, but purpose of benefiting sentient being. There's a wider purpose what you're trying to. Okay, so basically, the first thing is a conventional nature of mind, meditation into Shinne meditation, basically Shinne meditation. Second part is ultimate nature of mind. That's basically meditation in emptiness of. In the recommendation, it says either you can meditate in emptiness of the text, the author Pinchen Losang Chuji Gyaltsen says, first go with the I, the self, meditation of emptiness of I, and then in the text, and then he say yangna, another kind of sounds like an optional, maybe possibility, like some individual practitioner, due to their own karmic disposition, they might able to go straight forward towards the meditation in the ultimate nature of a mind. But maybe in a general speaking, first meditation of emptiness of yourself, the I, because we are emotional being, lots of attachment with the self due to the karmic circumstances. And so therefore meditation over emptiness of self, and that brings you a good foundation. And then meditation over emptiness of ultimate emptiness of mind itself. So it's from the one way to look at it, it becomes a meditation of emptiness of self. And then through meditation of emptiness of self, then you're entering into the meditation of emptiness of a phenomena, called these two things, emptiness of self and emptiness phenomena. So basically that brings you a really all pervasive awareness of a true nature of all phenomena. emptiness of phenomena. So once you get there, I think that's the kind of like the, then kind of like basically you can have a cruise control wisdom journey. So just put in your speed limit and then meditation. So that's kind of like a general, and that kind of a meditation of an emptiness of a mind or self, which really leads, is not his own project, is basically the impact into your own cognitive awareness, kind of go into the next level. Your cognitive status, your state of your cognitive mind. Once you have that kind of a level of meditation of emptiness, state of your cognitive mind becomes much more into the advance. What that means much more is the advance. Maybe one way to look at it is less dependent into our own physical matters in a form aggregate. Maybe less depending into that kind of. So there's more some kind of like some level of independence, not limiting your cognitive function, and then through that, basically, you're able to, the classical terminology, or like you can lead meditation of emptiness of a mind, lead to experience of a clear light of a mind. Okay, that's like a basically, you know, that's the kind of like the way clear light mind experience, and that's once we have that kind of experience of a clear light mind, then that's it, except the sentient beings karma, you from your side, you are well kind of like prepared. From your side, you are kind of well prepared to liberating sentient beings. So that's kind of like a overall, the Mahamudra is basically, basically seeing the true nature of a mind, through that able to gain benefit sentient being. Okay. That's it. We're done. Okay, let's lunch break. Okay, so now into the guideline to doing that. And the first thing first, as I mentioned, this kind of very childish mind is kind of easy to kind of like easy to react, and not kind of making any kind of awareness widening. Is easy to react through the karmic habit, easy to react. So that mind first we have to deal. And for dealing, we should not go directly. We should not go straight forward. We need to prepare. So therefore, in the meditation in the mind, nature of a mind, they call like a ngondo, is kind of like a preliminary, ngondo practice. And the ngondo practice is not so much about some kind of like it's not so much bureaucracy of a meditation of nature of mind. Sometimes we make complicated. Oh, you have to do this before, then you do this, do this. It's not so much like making complicated. It have a direct, it's basically, it have a direct involvement of it's like a meditation in conventional nature of mind. So for example, refuge ngondo, mandala ngondo, vajrasattva ngondo, any kind of these ngondo, they are really, you are preparing. Each of these ngondo practice have a really profound opportunity, space, and opportunity to, to really to get access, to able to clear out the reactive and habits, and to see the nature of a mind, which is the conventional nature of a mind. So each of those ngondo practice do have that window, because each of those ngondo practice, either you do with a refuge field, either you do with a merit field. So that's really the instruction over here. How we create that, how you say, able to create that crack into the karmic habit, and trying to see glimpse of, not full picture of a nature of a mind, but glimpse of seeing the nature of a mind. And somehow that's kind of like the short sunset that you can see. not happens every day, particularly in the northern part of a place. But once you have that glimpse of that sunset, that's kind of like a free of clouds, free of thoughts, and the glimpse of that you can kind of observe and abide. So each Ngondo is supposed to create sunset of a mind. So each Ngondo creating that that space. Okay, and of course, uh, through that kind of awareness and appreciation, then you have a really kind of increase your devotion of faith to the merit field and the refuge field. And that becomes your source of a so-called merit accumulation. Basically, that's the kind of like the ultimate ingredient for the merit, so-called merit. That's very, very much required. And even the word in Tibetan, the Thapa, and I think the English faith, maybe it becomes more specific, and the Tibetan word Thapa is not necessarily makes very specific. It's a Anwa means kind of like a pure state of awareness. Not so much it have a nature of a believing and a trust and these things. Not necessarily that have that. So therefore, Ngondo, preliminary doing Ngondo. So I think this gives us a really good kind of guidelines how to work with this kind of reactive mind, how to work with this kind of reactive mind. One thing is not so much everything, kind of like a driven and kind of like a, I'm going to do it, unless we do it. It's not so much, it's much more kind of like a multi-dimension, collaborated, marriage accumulation. It's not something that you go directly to see the nature of a mind. It is a come through, like for example, it's not so much you're trying to cut the distraction kind of directly. You're not trying to cut the mental wandering directly. You are with that kind of like a setting. You are creating this kind of like a state of awareness into a kind of uplifted, inspired, and there's a something interaction. And that's kind of like the way you created that space to how to kind of time being, not going through the antidote process, not going through kind of applying antidote. You're not going through kind of counter response. You're not trying to see kind of like you're just kind of like a creating space. You're just trying to create space. And it is easy to say by word, but able to really, to create the space, you're basically interference of our habit need to be passed. To able to do that through merit, through the blessings of the merit field, through the blessings of the refuge field. So that's like there's nothing logic and reasons and a process you're applying. It's basically much more through your own intuition, much more through your own kind of particularly patient, being patient. And then through that, so each Ngondru, like a refuge Ngondru, and basically, I think basically there's like a four, 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 four or four. It's a pronunciation. Four. My pronunciation getting worse? I notice four. Four has a win. Four way to get to see the nature of a mind. Maybe look, let's see as a Ngondo practice as something not kind of like a required to do, but there's a four different password to get into the into the mind, four different way to like seeing as like a four different ways to maybe you're doing the refuge Ngondo, maybe you didn't get that kind of able to go through, and maybe from in the mandala Ngondo, maybe you have more. It depends. It's giving you a not only second chance, but it's giving third chance and fourth chance. So it's just giving you usually there's only second chance, no, one chance. But this is a full Ngondo practice is giving us from the, almost like a first things, yeah, due to karma, whatever, maybe second chance, third chance, fourth chance. Then doesn't happen, then I'm not sure. I mean, sometimes there's a 9 Ngondo, different, water bowl Ngondo. I think we are getting intelligent, expanding that window, not only for the fifth, sixth, seventh. I think it's up to 9. I think there's something. Maybe we should create more. So anyway, so sometimes with a ngondo, something that's like it's a preliminary, but it's the wording is, we put wording as a preliminary, but in reality, it is like a first thing. You are not, each, there's you're knocking the door into the seeing the nature of a mind, the first glimpse of a nature of a mind, and then you're coming with a kind of like with a merit accumulation. So Ngondo, you see from that angle, okay? Then, of course, then we're really looking about, like a meditation, how we get the meditation. The physical part, I think, is okay. Not that we can kind of improve quite quick. Physical part, the mind part I think there's 2 things. The mind part. The first thing is maybe some kind of slight different experience that maybe we can keep it. The second part, consistent, that is more challenging. Okay, meditation part. So generally for meditation, even a meditation. What is a meditation? What is a meditation? In early time Tibetan school, they have a discussion. What do you mean meditating? What mean meditating? There's one teacher mentions that, yeah, we are all, we are skilled. We're very skilled meditator. We're very skilled, but we apply that skill into the wrong subject. So it's like we are great meditator. We are well trained, skilled, but it is applying into the kind of so now, then based on that reality, our experience, this teacher said, maybe meditation should go back to the transforming our motivation. So that's kind of like meditation is something not necessarily good feeling practice. Meditation should be transforming ourselves. Okay, transforming the meditation is something that when we say transforming motivation, that's the minute we say motivation, I feel like we are quite close. In this discussion, in this transforming motivation, we need to, in this discussion, in this topic, the ego have to be there. Anytime we talk motivation, ego needs to be involved. Okay, so since meditation is not about it's not meant to be I mean, like, we might feel good for time being, giving some kind of break, but really meant to be transforming our ego. Basically, can we say reinventing our own self? I also thinking this a lot. Maybe what you call in West, when you say reinventing myself, what that means, I hear that a lot. What that means, is it good or is negative? It's good, reinventing. Bringing constantly better version, you want to, based on your own karma, your experience, also your so better it's not just kind of like I want to have a good motivation. It's not so much. It's really the agent, the I, to transform. It's not so much the I. Okay, if Buddha's happy, I will do some good motivation. For sake of my teacher, I'll do some good motivation. There's some duality. So if we see this kind of way, then that's, I think, it's not really, is like is I want to be changed. I want to be transforming motive comes the theory of motivation. I think is a really like it's not so much something positive thought you are planting. It's not so much about. Of course, we planting, but it's really meant to be like the agent who is planting need to be do something work. So we need to really close that gap and push really motivation. So basically, these teachers and meditation is all about that. This kind of eye, and they're trying to planting positive seeds. And I'll do that, but I will not change. I'll go back to same way I am, but I'll do this for a moment. And so meditator, we need to close that gap and pushing. Like no. Not only you're meditating and planting that positive thought, but you have to transform into the positive. So now if this is the meditation, then I think we really, meditation is about transformation. Meditation is not about the gardening. Meditation is not about just planting some positive thoughts. Meditation is about transforming. Meditation about closing. Meditation is about. So we are really need to kind of like push that. We need to kind of tell ourselves this is all about it. Okay, yes, I think it's easy to say. So now the challenge with the karmic habit or karmic surprise and karmic unpredictabilities and all that things. Due to that, we make a little bit progress. What you call this? 2-step, and then how many back step? What you call the expression? 1 step? Well, that's not too bad. I thought it was worse than that. Okay, 1 step, okay. Anyway, so here, now, of course, it is, if that's the case, now how we do this with the karmic habit and this unpredictability, and also this our mind, which is a very much well-skilled to kind of navigate, to respond or to react is very, very much skilled. So here, now we as an individual person, I think negative thoughts arise, karmic habits kind of surprised, and then the response or the conclusion, that part is constantly new karma, I think. These things, reaction and unpredictable things happens, but then there's how you respond for that, how you react for that, how you respond for that. If that comes much more fear-driven, is that much more kind of like, then basically reinforcing that negative habit. And that will be the kind of like the first, yourself get ultimately caught into the karmic habit. So for us, not so much blaming for the habit itself. Habit is kind of comes very spontaneous, but what we have little kind of little opportunity, small window that like this unpredictably impulsive, reactive happens, but then here, either this is kind of after that we are in either we will take the wrong exit or either we take the right exit. So here, if you take the wrong exit, then you might need to drive quite a lot. And yes, we have to drive. You have to go through that until you get the. So here, so basically the thoughts arise, karmic habits happens, then here how you're responding is not necessarily you have to transform to the path that experience to see as a karmic thing. That's it. Just basically here, I think also a window and an opportunity to see the conventional nature of mind. Here also like how you're going to, this wave of thoughts comes up, this kind of surprise you. And then if the responding for that, it becomes really kind of egotistical grasping, then you reinforce, basically. The wave will crash very strongly. So here, I think in that kind of a karmic wave, so if as an individual person, kind of take a deep breath, relaxed, same thing, I think, all of you know how to swim in the ocean. So basically, if you get tense, obviously you get caught into the wave. So that kind of like immediately kind of like a pause intentionally. Even sometime maybe you might kind of slip through the couple miles with your habit, but still like there's a window and opportunity to pause. So really the responding part, that opportunity that we have, the way you respond. And during these kind of like observation and patience, and during that time, I think also we have an opportunity to see a conventional nature of a mind. Okay, so we need to feel kind of like not totally kind of like hopeless. I think there's a constantly hope and a window that we can make it better. Okay. Now, now Mahamudra, this word Mahamudra, sometimes I feel there's no Mahamudra statue. So it is, if we trying to kind of locate it, where's Mahamudra, then it comes back to us as an individual person. Some way it's the location of Mahamudra. There's no image, and there's nothing. So it comes to not to your body, not to your possessions and everything. It becomes more into the core, your consciousness, your awareness. Okay, and I think it is a really inspiring way to describing your own fundamental nature. Mahamudra. Maybe your last name should be Mahamudra. John Mahamudra. Leslie Mahamudra. So basically, it is our family, what you call last name is family name? Family name. Yeah, Mahamudra is family name. And that is a Buddha family. It's the last. So Mahamudra is our last name. Last name. So basically, very not scary last name. It is the meaning behind is like identifying. Mahamudra is identifying something. Is a very powerful way. Mahamudra. There's no Mahamudra statue, so that's good. Please don't create Mahamudra statue. Then we cannot really reclaim. So that's, I think, what I'm saying here is a meditator into the nature of a mind. You have to have basically what is a meditation, what required to meditate, what make, basically if we are not inspired, if there is basically what I'm saying here is that if we have a sense of self as a very negative, not healthy, and then I think there's no way to meditate. So therefore, even in Lamrim, precious meditation, precious imagery, but at least it gives you to, hey, connect with yourself from the positive perspective. In the Lamrim, in a small scope, it's much more general. But here in the Mahamudra, it's not talking to what kind of condition you are in and who you are as a person. That this is a Mahamudra. It's like basically saying like even sometimes they say it's a Dharmakaya. And in the Mahamudra terminology, like a shidugi chaja chimbu, namdugi chaja chimbu, dedugi chaja chimbu. Shidugi chaja chimbu means Mahamudra in the base. Basically, that means, literal translation, Mahamudra shidugi chaja chimbu. It's like literally Mahamudra in the base. Basically, that means, basically, it's saying that your state of your own nature of mind, state of your at this moment, Shitu means at this moment, at this period of time. Me as an individual person, my state of mind, it's not so much reactive, it's not talking. In nature, into, not talking from the influence of a karmic habit point of view, in the nature, basically, that's who I am. That's the, like, then basically, I think the Mahamudra is basically one way of giving, from my point of view, one way of identifying yourself as a karmic being. It's temporarily in that kind of situation, but it's not true nature. It's not like ultimate. So it's basically, Mahamudra is basically in a very, very different way of identifying, seeing the karmic reality, also karmic possibility through this combination, and you're identifying nature of mind. So shidugi chajachim, lamdugi chajachim, redugi chajachim, Mahamudra in the base, Mahamudra in the path, Mahamudra in the fruit, the result time. So basically, it is the identity of your nature of mind is not kind of like stuck in one kind of, it is a flow, it's changing from karmic circumstances. So that's the kind of like a much more into the conventional nature of mind, okay? Okay, so now if we are basically interested and wants to kind of like give a time and energy in the meditation in nature of mind, then I think one thing that we need to kind of orient ourselves is everything's happening from the mind. Everything happening from my own mind. Everything happening from my own mind. So this mantra need to be recited maybe 100,000 times. It's everything's happening. Everything. Mind is the source of a creator. Mind is the root of the existence of everything is the mind. So we need to have, but that I think is very important constantly. Is everything is a manifestation of a mind, or something that's really a creator is within our own self, creating everything, negative or positive. So this, I think, perspective, this kind of orienting, we need to be, something's well kind of like a part of the culture, part of our own culture. And once you have that, then moving into the Ngondu, or you can do same time, maybe in the morning you do the accumulation, and then the accumulation of that thing, everything is in my own creative mind. Everything is in my own mind's. Not projection is a process, but it's not just saying projection, it's more than projection. This is just my own mind. Everything is, is a anything. It's not only over here, around your own space, but all the universe, everything is just kind of like created through the mind. So this kind of a language, I think, is this kind of like a way of expressing, a way of thinking, way of a kind of like this needs to be well, kind of like a constantly kind of like almost like a reflected and almost like a making as your own kind of like a culture. Then meditative part is the meditation in nature of mind. Is that part, is that kind of a mantra. Everything is in a mind, created by mind. It's not saying everything is a mind. It's just kind of mind becomes the source of everything. So through that, then I think with the Ngondo help, with the Ngondo practice help, through that kind of like a setting, then working into the trying to kind of like diving, almost like a diving through the karmic habit and not get distracted and trying to see a glimpse of a conventional nature of a mind. So maybe Mahamudra is a mind diver. What's the people who are diving things? What you call for that? Diver? Huh? Diver. So Mahamudra meditation, you are diver in you dive through all the reactive mind. You dive through all the reactive mind and trying to see the as much possible the first glimpse of a nature of mind. So Ngondo practice is almost creating that kind of like a diving tank. So there's a 4 tank, and the Mahamudra, you're constantly diving, and hopefully married Buddhas, so you will come back. So it is not getting distracted with all the whatever things. You are constantly kind of with a trust, with a faith, with a devotion, without holding your back. Oh, this might happen, that might happen. You are just doing that kind of like a wonder. So therefore, into each of those wonder practice, like the diving part, the crucial part when you can dive, is not so much yours. There's no like you believe in yourself. I mean, like not believing in yourself. You're able to dive when you let go yourself. During the wonder practice, not so much. I believe, I trained, I have my merit fields are ready to help professional merit fields. It's not so much like that. It's not so much you believe, but when you let go. When you let go, that's the like a, and there's into each of those wonder practice, with America, there's a period of time, there's a period of time they say you let go yourself, not thinking anything, not think about Buddha's Bodhisattva, not think of anything, don't think of anything. So this is the first. We need to the most through this merit field wonder practice, through this practice, basically the first, somehow not through logic, it's not through reasoning, somehow to let go. It's just like training of let go. Each wonder practice, this 4 training, is really training into let going. It's not so much in the process. It doesn't is in the process is the wonder practice is a majority practice of a training into the faith, into the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, in the refuge field or merit field. So that you go through that, and then also it tells now you let go everything. You're trained into the faith, and then it's not so much give you different tools, but then there's just let go. There's no technical, there's no method, but just let go. So into the wonder practice, there's this called non-thinking, non-conceptualized state of non-conceptualized. And I think this is a state of a non-conceptualized. It says that state of a non-conceptualizing, but I think it's a total let going our own self. Total let go. This word let go is a, I think let going, practice of let going, at the beginning, it need to come through, not necessarily through wisdom. I think it comes through the practice of a method practice. And for example, practice of a refuge and practice of so there's a lot of, you developed some kind of like your heart. Practice of a method is lots of your heart intuition or your heart. It's not so much there's a little bit thinking, analyzing here and there. The fundamental is that, and then through that, when you have that kind of like a heart connection, and then it's let going. Okay, here we need to let go. After the instructions say here, after the refuge, Guru, the refuge and the things dissolves into yourself. So that's the cue. When you dissolve, that's the cue. Okay, now, let go. You let go. You let go. You totally let go. And that let going, sometimes I see in the YouTube the what you call people who jump from the cliffs with they're kind of like a, what you call that, paraglider, cliff diver. Yeah, I saw one time. First they do kind of some ritual. They all kind of, and then they go one after one, kind of beautiful. There's, obviously there's the interview. They are scared, and then there's last minute they let go. let go. They're not thinking anything, thinking of nothing, thinking of nothing. Just be there in present moment. Just so. In a similarly, in a one to practice something that really not holding and hanging in anything, just kind of, and the through so through this is the first window and opportunity in Mahamudra teaching. This is the window and opportunity to see the glimpse of nature of mind. So of course we don't need to go on the cliff and jump, but in our own meditation cushion, yeah, let's creating that. That's how we created that that opportunity. Okay. And now so so here meditation into the nature of a mind, we are almost in this context, in the Mahamudra, is saying basically we are developing concentration. We are developing concentration to the nature of a mind. In this case, clear and knowing. So that's the really we now here is I met one really artist in France, and he does this kind of realistic arts about animals things. And I was, wow, so good, so beautiful. And can you tell me a little bit? And he said, if I tell the story, I lose the beauty. If I try to conceptualize, then I don't know. I ruin the art. So there's something similarity. There is, through that kind of let going self, and basically hope for best to seeing the nature of mind, and even more hope to able to abide into that. If you are trying to, again, same thing here, I'm trying to talk about, so it looks silly. The usually say is you're supposed to see some kind of like a clear and knowing, just kind of reference, and that nobody is required to describe, and you are also not required to describe for yourself. Fundamentally, let go, and then through that state of let going, not necessarily guaranteed that you see even the glimpse of a conventional nature of a mind, but that is the right track, that's the right journey, and then through that, so basically, object of your concentration is something, and not trying to illustrate that conventional nature of mind. Also, we should not try to meditate when you're meditating into the nature of a mind. And then I think we should not make an effort to refining and defining. So just going through that, and whatever you experience, if there's a developing consistency to seeing, developing consistency of a practice of a let going, develop consistency of seeing, time to time you're seeing different things, not you thought is a nature of a mind, but not necessarily. So you develop through your own intuition, trying to see that kind of like consistency or whatever through that let going practice, whatever so-called clear. Okay, so basically what that means is you are somehow feel the experience without the narratives, without the reference. So witnessing your experience without reference, without a narrative, without a story, without it, kind of telling something. So that's the training. Okay. So somehow consistent. And then, of course, it's easy to say, without the reference, And that journey will be smooth? Absolutely not. A journey will be smooth? Absolutely. It is a totally bumpy journey. Yes, 100% is a bumpy journey. If it's a not bumpy journey, maybe it's not good news. It will be ups and downs, and definitely, if we the conclusion for the bumpy journey, if we conclude that bumpy journey, more than bumpy, more than bumpy, then we will ruin everything. So therefore, just living as a bumpy. Okay, so anyway, in that kind of a journey in the bumpy, there is also some kind of, of course, all these guidelines built through the experience. If there's anything that you can do it, or you just kind of like wait, or there's something that you can do into that bumpy journey. Put your seatbelt, or you have to do. There's anything that you from your side, minimum effort. Yes, they say like if there is something that again, this needs to be sometimes, okay, you say do that. And sometimes what I feel is like when there's instruction and we are so much excited to apply the instruction and then the instruction backfires and becomes more worse. So it is, again, lots of kind of patience is a key element. Yes, bumpy journey, like kind of like the waves comes up. Should I try to run away from the wave, or should I try to stay in the wave? Should I analyze which kind of wave it is? This is not doing such this kind of like assessments, and it's really kind of lots of more you're using your own intuition. So there is even you kind of sees the glimpse of a conventional nature of mind, but habits comes and takes away, and then not starting the fight. I want to go back. So of course your intention is there, but now becomes the method, the skillful means. So over here, of course, the main thing is you kind of like observe the reactive mind, and kind of there's a method of dissolving that kind of reactive, not the mind itself, but the behavior of mind. The behavior, the dissolving the story that what is telling, and then through that dissolution process, again, it gives you basically in a Mahamudra meditation, that reaction have a really good potential to seeing the mind itself. It is a part of the process. That reactive is very uncomfortable, but it is have an opportunity to seeing the nature of mind itself. Everything's applied to seeing the nature of mind. So basically, Mahamudra meditation is everything recycled, everything recycled to see the nature of mind. Hello. Okay. So to seeing the okay, seeing the nature of mind. Okay. Now, you're with me? Okay. Okay. Now, fundamentally, I think it is a training to how to respond, how are you going to respond to something very comfortable experience or uncomfortable experience. All your experience includes entire. So basically, you are trying to develop some kind of natural response, not like a commanded response. Natural response. Okay, natural responding. Maybe in Mahamudra at the early time is you're developing of a natural way of responding into the karmic wave. Wave of a karma just comes up, and training yourself into the natural. Natural means what? Natural means not too much analyzing, not too much conceptualizing, not too much So basically, conventional nature of mind meditation is the ultimate training about how to let go karmic habit. So so here there's only like from the actual method point of view is let going is basically to let go. Anything when you say let go, just let go. You cannot force yourself to let go. So let going part, we need to know what makes you not let go. So here, what makes us to not let go, because then there is something belief. You believe there is something that makes we are not to let go. How? That's like immediately you see there's something there. I feel it. I feel it. So this is into the only thing. When we face that resistance again and again, when we feel that resistance again and again through the karmic habit, in the Mahamudra meditation, basically, simple approach, kindly, gently, like for example, anger. You just kind of like, where's that? Of course, you understand the logic and reasons, but where's that? Where's it's just feeling? Where's just kind of like a gentle observation. The reaction, it makes really kind of like a solid, inherent, kind of like a solid rock. But first step is just break that part, scratching. The first thing is, at least that's kind of like even in Kagyu Mudra, it says like even both in Mahamudra meditation, Kagyu tradition, Gelug tradition, everything. The first thing is just kind of like a very simple analysis, simple, very simple, just kind of like a communicating. You are not just immediately kind of bowing. You're just like this, just kind of like you pause a little bit and just simple. You don't have to, I think, you don't have to have to all. I think it's just like that observation kind of makes us to pause a little bit. And that pausing can become ultimate pause, hopefully. That pause. And then here you have something to apply. I think the critical is that you put that handbrake. The critical is that brake. And then through that braking, it gives you some kind of like a guideline to observe. And that's not very intellectual and kind of like a deep analysis. It's not necessary. It's just is simple analysis. It's a very simple analysis. Simple analysis. So I think I think the magic is not necessarily into that simple analysis, but the kind of like a pause and getting into that simple analysis is, I think, the magic here. It comes through. So it's not so much. Sometimes we say analysis, then we get like so much. That looks like the main thing. I have to make that happen really good. I need to get that understood. There's nothing that much complicated. It's very simple analysis. Simple, like, what is this? Is like, can I take a picture? Can I do something? Can I pin down? There's no quantifying, and is any kind of conventional process you can apply, but you can just feel it. And it's kind of like the reaction sounds like there's a way to kind of capture the picture. There's in Seattle, there's one building, it's kind of strange building. There's a picture of a music. There's that building, you remember, in Seattle? What's called that strange building? Museum, yeah, rock and roll museum. And they built this building, and it's kind of strange building. And they said, this is how the music looks like. Yeah, that's the music how it looks like. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we should build Mahamudra building and telling that this is how the mind looks like. And we build kind of strange house. Okay. So again here, I think the first thing, not so much the analysis is very simple, and we don't. That's just kind of like a kind of process to go through, simple, and really it creates momentum to way to pause and non-reacting. It's creating that momentum to continuity and consistency. Actually, it's really, I think that analysis, although it says then through that kind of observation, then again like kind of dissolves back or entire into that reactive mind, into the mind itself, like a wave in the ocean. But I think the main thing is creating that pause, not get caught into the fighting with the wave itself. And that's I think the really main thing, and not jumping, okay, now I have to do this, now I have to observe, now I have to, like the simple analysis, I have to do the ready to kind of like a doing doing mode, the mode of something that I have to do it. It's not so much about that, So it is a very simple analysis. So ultimately, constantly what you're creating, you are not trying to cut your thought process, but it's really trying to not fall into the reactive, not fall into the reactive. You are not trying to flow over your cognitive mind. It's constantly kind of like a movement is there, but the one principle is how to not get reactive. And there is a little bit kind of like a technique and methods and so on and so forth, a way to analyze, way to observe here and there a little bit. So principally, when we say meditation in the nature of a mind, is basically, I think, particularly in a conventional nature of mind, I feel like really discipline our own self, being patient, fundamentally being patient, and mindful of our own habit, mindful of habit. And then the setup will be the four wonders, practice of Ngondo, okay? And then now meditation into the ultimate nature of mind is nothing different than the meditation of emptiness of the mind, okay? Now, emptiness of a mind, this is, I think, like emptiness of us, I, meditation of emptiness of I, and the meditation of emptiness of mind. Maybe why there's like a different kind of like a recommendation, even in Pension Losa Chuji, when it comes to the session into the meditation, the ultimate nature of mind, it starts first from the emptiness of self. And then the next part, it starts the emptiness of the mind. Now, I think particularly in the Buddhist philosophy, there is a subject of what is I? What is I? And there's this, why subject of I need to be discussed. It's not necessarily reason based upon a therapy reason. I think it's not so much to how to define healthy I, or this is a I discussion of I. This kind of is coming from because one of the principal value is the karmic cause and effect. And karma have to become kind of karmic concept really comes to the one of the key core value is accountability. So now for making that accountability, that naturally kind of like my karma, I become accountability. The I is, if I is just kind of like for this only so much with my physical, is so much with the matter, so much with the kind of limited existence, and then accountability cannot be. There's a plenty way to escape. so therefore, for Buddhism, since not believing, refuting creator, so that makes concept of the theory of self and I and cause and effect, karmic, particularly in a karmic cause and effect, that naturally push to understanding what is the nature of self. Really, it's not so much like a part of the outline, okay, a self. This is a natural push, a kind of expansion of kind of like a self. So meditation of emptiness of a self, I think maybe more comes from the karmic point of view. Anytime when we talk about self is a much more closer topic relevant with the karma. So anytime when there's a self, karma is like one of the key things, okay? Karmic, particularly Buddhist idea of a karmic cause and effect, okay? So now so in that case, now, if we are, let me put this way, when we, any meditation of ultimate nature of anything, it's not so much like, how you say, it need to evolve through something. I'm going to do meditation in emptiness. It's just like a commitment, or it's like it need to come. I need to see doctor because yesterday I didn't drink too much water, or I have too much buttered tea, or something. That you have to say some stories. Something need to be relevant. Something have to happen, and that's push you to doing. So meditation supposed to be, there's a different meditation. I think we have to have something cause and a condition puts you to see. It's not like a commanded. It's not like, how you say. It needs to be cause and effect relation. So therefore, meditation of emptiness of a self have to have some. So I'm not. So basically, what I'm saying is, maybe I'm just making up. This is my theory. I'm just making up. Meditation of emptiness of self comes through strong renunciation. Meditation of emptiness of nature of mind comes from bodhicitta. If we divided three principles of the path, I'm just making up. But I think otherwise it becomes, no, I don't know, that's my feeling. When we have a strong renunciation experience, then through that it comes through naturally with the karma, truth of suffering, truth of a cause of all. So a little bit more Four Noble Truth, particularly within the Four Noble Truth, the first two becomes the crucial kind of like a fuel to meditate in the emptiness of I. And that's the very, very therapeutic for the first noble truth and second noble truth. Meditation, the emptiness of I. That's I'm kind of thinking. Now, through the bodhicitta, is like I want to. It's not so much reflecting into the first two truth within the Four Noble Truth. There's lots of how you say, ambition, so ambition. So maybe through that kind of very ambitious, very, how you say, ambitious, very ambitious, then you go to the meditation, nature of mind. What is my nature of mind? Mahamudra meditation. I'm just making up, just think out, just analyze. I think have to have something have to be relevant what we experience. Otherwise, not so much. It's not so much like options like a shopping mall. In these, you can have different type of cheese, a different type of oatmeals. It's not just this is optional, but I think it comes through what karmically what's happening, what's going through. What kind of state of mind? We are kind of frustrated and tired, then meditate in emptiness of self. And we are kind of like excited, there's something like uplifted, and then meditate in the nature of mind. And then through, I think so. All looks like you all agree, but I'm not sure. But there's no like but there's no actual Mahamudra teachers kind of connecting in this way. There's no such a thing. So I hope, I'm kind of declaring there's no text root like this, doing it like that way. Even the text, looking into the root text itself, almost looks like a more optional approach, then it goes like a otherwise. So no, so I think we cannot choose when we do meditation with emptiness of I, or we cannot choose when we do meditation nature of mind, because we cannot choose the karma. If we have a choice, then of course, it's the same thing. If we have a choice, yeah, we want to more spend into the encouragement part, more ambition part, more excitement part. It's not all, maybe meditation in emptiness of I is a solving problem. Meditation in nature of mind is to looking into all the possibility in the potentials. What do you think? Huh? What do you think? I'm not sure, but Rubina can say that. No, yes, exactly. Absolutely. So, yeah.
But it sounds like, or the dialectic in my mind is between shunyata and tathata.
Mhm.
So like emptiness and suchness.
Mhm.
And in the Heart Sutra, it's like it's not either, but it's like the emptiness of I is the shunyata, but exploring the nature of mind is exploring suchness.
Mhm. What you think? I was really
Well, I think they are synonyms.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you're sort of approaching them from different angles.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, like you have a point. Okay, you mean like emptiness of I is much more like, and emptiness of mind is also like a shunyata. Yeah. And now again, this is now Nagarjuna have a like wisdom collections of his guidelines and teachings, and Riksok and Dösok. Dösok means praising collection, something like that. I don't know, literal translation. So he have two, so collection of the wisdom, there's 6 different texts, and they are really kind of like a logical, kind of process observation. And the Döso, the collections of the praise, and then there's within that they go Chewing Töba. Chewing Töba means kind of like a praise for the Dhammadhatu, Chewing Töba. Okay, Chewing Töba. So now Mahamudra in the meditation, like in the Mahamudra literature, it used the word more like the word of Chuki in Dhammadhatu, sphere of reality, realms of reality, whatever that. So like, sometimes I say like Mahamudra. Uh, uh, I think it is just saying the expression of reality is the ultimate seal, rather than saying something's kind of like a big things, emptiness of something. So sometimes I use as a like chugi in, the chugi in. What the English? What you hear like spear? Spear. What that means?
It's like the possibilities, the world of.
Spear, chugi in. Spear of a flower. You can say that.
Good.
You can say that. Okay, I can say that because I have an accent. If you're a native speaker, I'm not sure. Many times I ask students at Rinpoche, yeah, you can say that. And I said, because of I have an accent. I'm not native speaker, so it's okay. I can spear of a flower. Chugi. So from the synonym point of view, yes, we can say if there's the emptiness of flower, then we can say in a spear of a flower. We have to be able to say that. So now again, that's another way to look at it. Like the now here. Now here, like maybe like a suchness and dhammadhatus maybe more as a conclusion. Maybe emptiness is a process. What do you think? We talked this morning, May. So emptiness, like there's no dissolving of intrinsicness through the logic and process. Yeah, you have that. So it is, there are synonyms, yes, but in the application of a practice, maybe, again, I'm making up, as meditation of emptiness is a process, And then suchness and the Dhammadhatu as a conclusion. You all agree? Wow, that's great. Okay, so okay. Today I have a really good audience. You all agree with me. That's the best one. Okay, okay. Also, of course, in people in Zoom, do you have any disagreement? Welcome. Okay, so Tongpanyi, Shunyata as a process, because you are really, again, why this is a process? Because karmically, nothing is emptiness. Karmic experience is nothing is emptiness. At this moment now here, everything is intrinsic, inherent, independent, true existence, particularly the independent. So everything's that. So if I process all the information of reality through independent, inherent, my experience tells this is a bumpy, right? So now here, so to kind of having a little bit more smooth karmic journey, then emptiness. So it is a immediate education, is immediate correction, emptiness, shunyata. Okay, and the tricky in Dhammadhatu and suchness. But every this word have a ni Tibetan word tongba ni, ekona ni, ki ni. But ni is a kind of like a that from Tibetan language point of view is a I say basic. Okay, doesn't matter Tibetan word.
Never stop talking about how we make a big mistake by not saying it in English, emptiness only. It always goes on about that.
Yeah.
So what's important about it?
Tongpa ni. Ni have a similar meaning as a tekonani, thusness, we used to translate, suchness. It have a tongpa ni. Now in yeah, tongpa ni. You know. Now in another way, from the when you kind of getting the process of a dissolving or intrinsicness through the logic was go well, Tongpa Ni maybe have a lot more like a non-forming, because process have a non-forming, the conclusion can have a forming. Yeah, the Ni also maybe more like a non-forming. In other words, we discuss okay. Yeah, there's another one. Implicated. Non-implicated. So ni, the word tongpa ni, and non-implicated. Non-implicated. Okay, so it is why we in the process have to be mere negation. Process have to be mere non-implicating, because if you implicate anything while you are in the process, then you fall back to the same situation. So tongpani much more as a process, and suchness chugi in ki tekonani samu tongpani samu tenjung ki tekonani samu tenjung ki tekonani. Anyway. Okay. Okay, so now, so fundamentally, Mahamudra meditator is a meditation into the, I think, in the Buddha nature, the looking into your own true nature of mind. So, in a now can be analogy for the meditation into the Buddha nature or meditation into the nature of a mind. In this, maybe in the first step, help be basically analogy will be what you call that you have a water and you store and just leave it, and to get dust to settle is you just need to wait, not to do more. So basically, the first step of a Mahamudra meditation is not analyzing too much and bringing new water, or just wait, just waiting the dust to settle, just waiting the dust to settle. So that will be the analogy. You have a water bowl, you put it there, and there's something there, and not trying to make second round of a water bowl, but just leave it there and with a pure intention, just wait there to dust to settle, dust to settle. Okay, so here. Okay. Maybe meditation in the ultimate nature of mind will be much more fun. Basically, meditation in the conventional nature of mind can be really boring. What do you think? Now, if you are looking for something or immediately excitement, without working, and I think without seeing the conventional nature of a mind, then it's basically you are going to irrelevant meditation of nature of a mind without doing the conventional nature of mind. So that we have to go through that patient practice, like a non-stirring, just wait and just wait. Just wait, non-react. Telling our own selves, fine, it's okay, just wait, just wait. So basically, to able to follow that command and able to kind of accept that command, okay, I will wait. You have to have some kind of faith and devotion to, that's the main, again, merit field is a training, is not, is it looks like when we're doing like a Ngondo practice, it looks like there's so much attention to the merit field detail. I think, yes, looks like, but that they are, the ultimate, the real thing is not all up there. The object of refuge is not so much. It's really, they are just training ground. The field of a merit is a training ground. Refuge field is a training ground. Mandala is just training ground. It's different. Yeah. I think Tibetan, we created some, and I'm not sure in India, particularly they do that, but who knows? It's just a training ground. A refuge field is a training ground. It's not so. So what you're training over here is the mind itself is able to kind of be a patient, our own self, karma and habits, not to get reacted. Okay. So basically, in both cases, meditation in conventional nature of mind and meditation in ultimate nature, the fundamental practice is mindfulness. Again, I think it's really into our own daily life. We need to see. I see my mind. We need to. I think to say that I see my mind. I see my mind behavior. I see. acknowledging our own karmic habit. I see, yeah, it didn't went well, but it's embarrassing, but it's fine. I see that. It's very acknowledge all the time, acknowledge, and we need to build that habit. Acknowledgement. Yeah, it was a reactive, it's really embarrassing, but doesn't matter. Acknowledgement of that kind of like a habit. And that is a part of a mindfulness practice, I think. If I'm doing mindfulness, but you never acknowledge our karmic habit, cannot be. Mindfulness practitioners, we're able to acknowledge our karmic habit. I saw my mind. I saw my behavior. I saw, majority, maybe like, usually what I see is the majority, the blaming. That person did something. And then I'll do mindfulness, but you make a mistake. I do mine. No, mindfulness and meditation, we need to reduce pointing finger and maybe more, I saw my mind. But, again, we're not saying totally ignore what's that, but change the energy a little bit. So that's I think, the key thing here. We can easily to say these statements, mindfulness. I think the one important acknowledgement of our own karmic habit. I saw my mind. I saw my mind. And then, yeah, that's it. That's it. Sometimes we embarrass. Okay, fine, but mainly this habit. I saw my mind. I saw my mind. So that will be fundamental practice, our foundation for mindfulness. Okay, because in the cushion, mindfulness meditation, breathing meditation, to have a much more kind of believable, then we have an obsession when your environment is not controlled. In a meditation cushion, environment is controlled. You close the door. There's a control environment. Control environment, mindfulness practice is just kind of like maybe part of the practice of mindfulness is maybe it's a 20%. In a control environment, when we're doing that kind of like pay attention for our breathing, pay attention to this and that, it's just 20%. And the majority have to happen. That can help orientation. That's maybe oriented. Maybe majority things happen into the street of New York, subway or wherever, unpredictable, when there's unpredictable. So in that time, you cannot sit down and meditate, but basically you can say, I notice, I see my mind, I saw my mind. So that will be the most powerful, I think, this expressing our own self, when I saw my mind. Okay. So that kind of, I think, habit becomes very important to meditation, to the nature of a mind. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm finished. If I try to say something, becomes non-Mahamudra. And I'm trying to pick some different topic and it becomes not Mahamudra, not talking of nature of mind. So I'm finished. So time to lunch or whatever. Yeah. Your questions? One question here, and then we'll do some. If you have a question, the opportunity.
Thank you so much. I was just wondering, what are some behavioral markers we can look for that we are carrying our Mahamudra practice into our waking daily life? What does someone who does a good Mahamudra practice, what do they look like?
Saw my mind.
I saw my mind.
That's I think the behavior. I saw my mind. I saw my. Yes, my answer was already. What do you think? Yeah, I think this is really beautiful. Yeah. Endorsed by my so I think that person can be that kind of, again, like I'm sometimes looking in the bodhisattvas, they will be all the time kind of gentle and nice. I'm not sure. Sometimes they can, like yeah, we can zoom on, we can how say any no any but if you want to ask one question from any of you, you just unmute yourself, okay? So external behavior, like through the time you spend, and then you can kind of notice that person have something to way to, maybe at the beginning more blaming, but then a little bit more kind of taking responsibility, and taking responsibility not to just the sake of a peace, but taking responsibility through seeing this ever more depth, it have a more depth to seeing. I saw my mind. That kind of expression is basically it can manifest that kind of in many different ways. But in the core, in essence, if you have that kind of like a key point expression, like, oh, I saw my mind, and that will be, if you feel that kind of believable and consistent, that's it, I think. And that can comes into the delivery method, can become many different ways. So that presentation is not important, but the whatever presentation can be rough, presentation can be pleasant, presentation can be eloquent, presentation can be non-eloquent, but there is a inner, what you call the key point. in France, when they put the presentation in restaurants are very beautiful, but the food need to be okay. So so that's it, like there's more. Then in another way, any kind of comes through natural, and then key element of a natural, but there's something that's, there's something that basically your intuition kind of relates with that descriptions or expression. Not that you have to. Yeah, I think, yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yes. Can you hear me, Rinpoche?
I can hear you, but I cannot see you. Nature will
It's big.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Rinpoche.
Okay, good.
I
Welcome.
was thinking when you were speaking about emptiness, suchness, and dharma. How does it connect to dependent arising? And I was thinking, not sure if it's correct, probably not, but maybe dependent arising is not so much connected to emptiness because this is mere negation, but more connected to the result, and maybe also more can be alternative process to the result, but not sure. I want to hear your thoughts. How do you connect dependent arising to emptiness, suchness, and dharma?
Yeah.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Again, yes, it's the same thing. We need to function into even you are a great meditator in emptiness, we need to function into the day-to-day life. So we need to relate it with the day-to-day life things. So emptiness meditation, the same thing, emptiness meditation and dependent origination. Dependent origination is, as I mentioned earlier, like it's a kind of conclusion. It's like you get into only left it's not independent. You dissolve the independent part of through the logic and observation, and also through your own experience, independent way of processing reality is not getting anywhere. So through logically and so on and so forth, so you dissolve that part. So then you kind of naturally, that kind of like although there is a logic of a dependent origination, it is there, but is at the end, really you are kind of into kind of like a settling. Your dispute is settled. Your dispute with the grasping of intrinsic self, that dispute was settled into the dependent origination. Kind of like a dependent origination as like a conclusion. So somehow that's the only way to kind of like relate it. That's the healthiest way to relating with the reality. That's the healthy way, and that's the only way, maybe. The another one is kind of like pretty much kind of made up by ego, made up by ignorance, made up by habits. Now you have a kind of like a reality, and it is a, Tishin Shepa, so dependent origination is kind of like a forming. The word, another one is in the forming is basically it's. So let me put this way. Within there's basically there's a dilemma. It's not like a kind of straightforward. There's a dilemma because sometimes we don't, interest in the emptiness meditation, but also don't want to kind of fall into the nihilistic. And sometimes if we overly pay attention in not falling into nihilistic, and then you're trying to have something to kind of like a holding and to established. And because of that fear, you are not able to kind of get like a thorough emptiness or like a total emptiness, whatever we're going to call it. Like you're something you are there, you are holding into it. But then basically, like a prasankika, the advanced philosophical is like, hey, you don't get scared. Be courage. Everything is imputely exist. So dependent origination over here is when you look into the much more, it's not so much cause and conditions, not so much the this and that. Is that really the establishing of existence is just kind of like an imputely existence. So basically, there's a nothing, anything exists from the object. So basically. When we say dependent origination, I will say it is a subtle dependent origination. Sometimes you use, sometimes in a Tsongkhapa's literature, and perhaps we call like a subtle conventional truth. To usually, conventional truth becomes kind of like a steps to understanding ultimate truth, but the subtle conventional truth, to understand that you have to have an ultimate truth, you have to understand first. So therefore, when we're talking a dependent origination, it's almost like I'm referencing into a subtle conventional reality. It is using why it used this kind of conventional reality, because we need to it need to be relevant with our own life. It's nothing something there. So it used this kind of word, subtle conventional reality, coming back to the so you that's as a conclusion. You kind of implicate is everything is this is just energy flow. Everything is just kind of like a merely imputed. Maybe even I think maybe process have a emptiness meditation have a process. Emptiness meditation have like a Bodhisattva 10 Bhumi is all of a described based on a process of emptiness meditation. Okay. Now, in the same way, as a conclusion, as a Dhammadhatu or dependent origination, it have maybe some steps. It's not as like a final conclusion. Final conclusion all the time happens until you are enlightened. So you might be able to see maybe 10 Bodhisattva Bhumi, which is a 10 different way of a process of a meditation of emptiness. Likewise, there can be 10 different way of experiencing conclusion in the dependent origination. So it is like not like a final. This is like also it's have its own kind of flow. Okay. Did I answer your question, or just went so somewhere my own
No.
thing and continue over discussion with the breakfast with the Venerable Robin? Now we are going through talking this whole thing. Did I answer your?
Yes, you answered. Thank you so much.
Don't be polite. You can just tell me like no.
No, you answered 80%. If
Okay,
it's 80%, if I ask about the 20% left,
okay.
how would you connect dependent arising to
I wish you give me
Dharma Dhatu?
Okay, okay. 2% left. And what's happened? Can you? Sorry, I interrupted you.
If you can connect dependent arising, like would you connect it to Dharma Dhatu or suchness in a way?
Now the basically we have to come back to the basics. So sometimes we have Dhamma Dhatu. This looks like terminology. Yes, this is a little bit more fancy, I think, Dhamma Dhatu and suchness. But I feel like the word subtle convention reality is still, I feel like, more closer to the your own experience, what's happening. Dhamma Dhatu and this may possibility to see something, there is something extraordinary. In ultimately conventional truth and ultimate truth as one nature. There's no true truth separate. It's just there's non-duality of a true truth is the kind of like ultimate way of describing our non-dualistic. So basically, if we have a little bit more kind of like a Dhamma Dhatu, more kind of like a more exotic, it may leave some duality. So I think coming back to the basic, so basically, if you realize emptiness, there will be traffic jam into the life will be pretty much same. The processing the life can be different. There will be same thing. There will be same thing. The karma will manifest pretty much same thing, only change how we respond. So you need to come back to the dependent origination. I think these words are dependent originations, and it's to have to have some things. The terminology can become all pervasive. So we cannot go one by one individually trying to saying, like function. They can function. You can dissolve intrinsic, but you can function. So I think the whole thing is kind of universal, kind of terminology that can be pervasive. But I think having much more, just, at the end of the day, we have to deal with the samsara. And also there's a samsara and nirvana is also one nature. And that's kind of condemn, like not too much separation. So I will say, yeah. Anyway, your question is, sorry, your question is why dependent origination in Dhamma
For me,
Dhatu?
you answered. So for me, you answered completely.
Oh, really?
But yes.
Okay.
So
I clean up the person.
yes.
So now you're okay. Anyway, good.
Thank you so much, Rinpoche.
Okay. Thank you. I don't know. I don't feel I don't know. Maybe that's miracle. Great. Okay. Then should we stop? Okay, good. Thank you. Let's just show dedication. Rinpoche, mage bana gegoje, gebane bame baya, gome gongo dawa. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, coming back.
Okay.